Hi, this is Brandon Cash. I'm a professor at Talbot School of Theology, Biola University. I primarily teach homiletics and hermeneutics. And my paper is really an attempt to just get a discussion going as I thought through some of the questions my students were asking in the preaching classes. It was really interesting to me. I feel like there's been a shift over the last few years that a few more students are coming in with the idea that we shouldn't be making any applications or calls to a particular lifestyle with any specifics, because then we're becoming moralistic in our preaching and we're not gospel-centered or Christ-centered in our preaching. And again, I think this is much more on the popular level than the scholarly level. Obviously, a book like Christ-Centered Preaching by Brian Chappell, or when we look at the good book that Scott and Matt edited on the hermeneutics and homiletics and the four views, like that's really good stuff, really good discussions. And I don't think any of those authors would say we don't need to apply scripture and call people to live a particular way. But there seems to be a growing popularity, especially in some of the newer Reform camps and a couple of podcasts that I won't call out on this. But it seems like more and more students are not even looking at both the rich tradition of church history and how Torah has been presented and preached, but the scriptures themselves. How does scripture portray the function of Torah, and how should that influence the way we preach it? And so this paper is just an attempt to think through that, think through the role of the Torah in the Tanakh, the Hebrew scriptures. And I think it's very intentional, the editorial activity, like this is how Torah applies. And even the scriptures themselves talk about what a gracious gift this is, and why is that a gracious gift, and how can we use that to help instruct our people in order to live lives worthy of our calling as God's children. So that's what the paper is. I'm calling it a hermeneutic of instruction, meaning reading through the Old Testament with this Torah lens, or this instructional lens. And I think it's going to help us apply. And when our hermeneutic, the framework through which we're looking at scripture, comes right from the text itself, then whether we're preaching in America or other parts of the world, it's a great starting point for God's people to think through it. So I look forward to the discussions. Looking forward to the EHS conference.